And finally, on front page, for our last story, we wanted to say this, that the governments never actually fail to disappoint when it comes to confusing a keyboard for a crime scene. Yes, are you intrigued? So am I. Let's carry on. Australia's e-safety commissioner has fired off letters to the usual suspects: Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, and GitHub. Yes, the Microsoft owned site where developers share code and argue about tabs versus spaces. The question on the table: should GitHub be treated like a social network dangerous to kids and forced to block under 16 users when the new rules kick in December 10? Well, the internet's response is this. It is pure roast mode, and this will be a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the first one. There is no hope left for humanity. Some people are so brainwashed, they're comparing GitHub to TikTok, end quote, wrote AI evangelist Ashutosh Srivastava. Another deadpanned, I guess kids wanting to learn to code will have to do so from outside Australia, end quote. Others join the fun, like we are. It's detrimental to your health to get addicted to coding, end quote, one quipped. Another warned, and this is fun, if you become a programmer, you might develop vision problems and not be able to, well, see hashtag. Well, and the classic one, stop coding and go out and touch some grass. Cue the reply, the grass in Australia. Well, complete with photos of spiders the size of laptops. Well, to be fair, GitHub isn't squeaky clean. It hosts malware repos, phishing kits, and the occasional shady script. But calling it a TikTok level threat is like, well, saying a public library is dangerous because someone once scribbled a swear word in a book, as has the head of research at AIM. He's done it in the past. I just wanted to tell you that. Well, moving on. If this feels familiar, that's because it is. Australia has a track record of headline grabbing internet fixes that don't survive contact without reality. The $90 million child safe internet filter that kids bypassed within hours. The mandatory metadata retention plan that even ministers couldn't define. And a national broadband network rollout so mismanaged, it became a case study in how not to ship a product. So, yes, sending a self-assessment form to Microsoft is technically, well, just due diligence. But it also reeks of the same ban first, understand later instinct that gave us those earlier policy faceplants. Honestly, the real subtext, as always, is control. Open source platforms like GitHub host the very tools, VPNs, encryption libraries, privacy technology that governments struggle to regulate. Looks like the government is trying really hard to restrict people from downloading open source tools and code that might be used to circumvent their own censorship measures. That's the uncomfortable truth. This isn't about protecting children from bad commits. It's actually about politicians trying to wrap their arms around code they don't understand. Australia isn't really worried about a 15 or a 16-year-old stumbling across a JavaScript repo. It's actually worried about a future where teenagers can fork the internet before they can drive. And in classic Canberra fashion, the solution is to label GitHub social media and hope no one notices the logical Stack Overflow. Finally, when governments confuse GitHub with TikTok, remember, the real bug isn't in the code. It's actually in the policy.